No brains, like, no brains at all. Literally no brains. G'day everyone and welcome back to Frogs Hollow TV for episode 14. We will cover the action and headlines from the past month. Wheelie, great to be back on set, mate. How are you in the lovely neck brace there?
Yeah, no, mate, good. Shoulder's coming along well and the ribs are getting better, and hopefully a couple more weeks of this and it'll be off, and then she's on. 62.
Look out.
Come on, babies.
So, Wheelie, our Fink show was a massive hit, over 4,500 views, by far our most popular yet. So we just want to say thank you for everyone and hope they continue to enjoy our shows.
Yeah, no, it was good, Toby. I'll tell you what, every time you see it go up and up and up and you think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, people enjoy
it.
And
the kids love it. Like every kid that comes up, they're loving it. Mate, absolutely loving it.
So once again, brought to you by our great partners at TC Media and Raisin Sons Earth Moving. Our jam-packed show includes 5 reviews from the past month and also 2 previews of this weekend's races. Wheelie, just before we get into it, Fink, Toby Price, Aaron James, Brent Martin were the storylines. What was your verdict from Alice Springs?
Yeah, well, my verdict was wrong.
Yeah, so was mine.
Yeah, Josh had a real good prologue, and then she was had some issues down the track, and she's over. But
Toby Price,
mate. Like honestly, you see that in-car footage, unbelievable.
Big drive from Aaron James though to run second in a single seat.
I'll tell you what, another 70 Ks. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Tay would have looked into revision.
Yeah, we'd have a bit of more of a guard, so. And Brent Martin, obviously third in that. I mean, that is next level in the pro light.
In a pro light, come on.
Driving the
doors
off it. Definition. Brent Martin, mate, is a lunatic.
So
again, before we start tonight's event previews, we would like to thank our amazing contributors for supplying the goods. Sounds a bit repetitive, but we must thank them because you do make our show. Tonight, for the stunning coverage, courtesy of Corey Aldridge of Show and Go Photography, Jason Glear, our WA correspondent, awesome stuff again, mate. Gears and Wheels Photography, in-car action, thanks to Troy and Deb Schuen. Also to Adam Truwalla, Kai Camilleri, Clayton Chapman and Dave Chandler, plus some amazing South Australian footage from our experts down there, Brendan Wilson, Brett Lehman Photography, also to Jesse Barnes of One Shot Media and Paul Chorlton of Aussie Off-Road Media. So Derek, thank you again for supplying the goods.
Mate, like you said, this show can't happen without them. No. And they're 100%, and that's what it's all about.
And as we get through the episodes, the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It does, and as far as I know, mate, everyone I speak to, they love it.
I just love it, yeah. So it's been a crazy last 3 or 4 weeks in Australian off-road wheeling. It feels like it's just getting started. So tonight on the show, we'll review the Bend short course, the Moyston short course, Derby short course from the last weekend in May, plus the Colo Park Challenge and Ben Coven 400 from the following weekend. We'll also, next week, be bringing a full Fink review, so stay tuned for that next week. So straight into last month's Tiger Vac, the Bend short course down that beautiful Tailem Bend Motorsport Complex in South Australia. First time off-road buggies have been on the circuit. A great initiative from the club down there. Round 2 of the South Australian ARB Off-Road Racing Multi-Club Series. And on a wet, wild and cool weekend, 21 cars greeted the green light, and it was the father and son of Nick and Alex Burke in their off-road rush truck that claimed a 10-second victory.
And I'll tell you what, Dave, she looked cold too.
Yeah, cold.
Oh, God, it looked cold.
I reckon it was ridiculous weather down there, but that's the nature of the beast sometimes. And they completed 19 laps of the 10-kilometre circuit, so it was a pretty full-on weekend. On the Sunday, I think the lead changed 4 times in an hour and a half racing or something like that. So
it would, mate. 10K is not a long way around, mate. No. And that many cars. Oh, geez.
Action aplenty.
Action of action.
So Aaron Havey, obviously, he pulled out after the first day with a few issues. Tim Vandenberg and Jason McGlynn stormed home in an incredible run They started the day 2 in 13th outright. Despite a flat tyre late on Saturday, they finished only, as I said, 10 seconds behind the Burt combination in the SS Race Tech Hustle, and it's a pretty good drive to come from 13th to 2nd and lose by 10 seconds with a flat.
I'll tell you what, it's a good drive, and I'll tell you what, especially with a flat, as you know what it's like, mate. If it goes to plan, it goes to plan. If it don't, it don't. And it went to plan. Geez, must have had a drive to get back to where it did.
Yeah. They set some quick lap times too, so it wasn't just about their consistency.
No.
They showed they had the speed. Third outright went to an ecstatic Michael Shipton and Paul Chorlton, so it's great to see the 585 Chev-powered Ford SBH Ranger. They finished 2 and a bit minutes behind Vandenberg to round out the inaugural Tiger Vac Bend short course, and obviously Paul Chorlton, the navigator, is a bloke that sends us a lot of footage, so congratulations, man. That's their first outright podium, so good stuff. Scott Ballantyne debuted his Scott Schiller Prolog buggy at Kalgoorlie last year, and he debuted it in the South Australian circuit down there at the Bend, and he finished 4th outright and 1st in class, while the Can-Am Maverick, father and son of Ben and Heath Fatchin, slotted into 5th place, while brothers Hayden and Neil Vanstone secured 6th and were the last team to complete all 19 laps of the Tiger Vac Bend short course. Overnight leader Aaron Havey, Daryl Nissen, David Hoare and John Smith were the notable DNFs from that weekend. So now on to the Geelong Off-Road Buggy Association Samba Metalworks Moisten Short Course. It was a multi-club one-day event, round 4 of the Victorian Off-Road Racing Club Shield. And really, they had 21 laps of a 5-kilometre loose stony dirt clay track. 18 out of the 26 starters finished full race distance. Can-Am campaigners Daniel and Jody Jorgesberg claimed a 1.5 minute outright victory in dusty conditions. And those short course races, those Can-Ams, they just seem to win more than they don't.
You won't beat a Can-Am on a short course, mate. I'll tell you what.
And they're consistent.
They're getting better and better, mate. And have a look at them. Like you line my car beside one of them, mate. There's not a lot of difference in them anymore.
Yeah.
Narrower, but lengthwise
And
it's
the
the
top
same.
speed,
And
the ability to in and out of corners is what
unbelievable.
wins. Darren Frankling and Rob Hackney made it 1-2 for Class 6. They piloted his Can-Am home in second. And then it was 9 seconds further back to Timmy Lloyd and Steve Crow in their unlimited Nissan-powered Lloyd Mark V machine in third outright. Dean Williams crossed first in class and fourth outright in his 1300cc Southern Cross Mark IV, and then over a minute back from the podium, with Andrew and Jack Cameron in the ex-Bernie Claheasy Mitsubishi Triton taking Class 5 honours and rounding out the top 5 outright. Onto the event that we were meant to be at, but we didn't get there because of you decided to have a bit of a oopsie-doopsie over the back here. But we won't go into that again. No. We haven't got time tonight. But the PDS Derby Short Course 100 was the rescheduled round one of the Mickey Thompson ARB Queensland Championship.
Yep. And
there was 71 starters. It should have been 72, but 51 finished. And what was your verdict from Derby this year?
Yeah, well, I thought Clayton would have won it, but it was the other way around. Stuart, Clayton and Zach Marsh won it. Like, that's the top three, and the top two I thought might have been the opposite way, but
only 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Clayton's going to have to pull his finger out, eh? I mean it. Like, he's
2022. Stuart's got the first win. Clayton's yet to get one. So
that's dead right.
They reckon it was, obviously you could see some good pics there from Capture the Dog photography there.
Yes.
Some of the ruts are extraordinary over in that.
And unbelievable.
Had a lot of rain before.
And had a lot of rain, and it was wet.
Yeah.
Good on him.
But a credit to the Gympie Club for obviously, and Paddy Philp and the property owners for getting a race, and that's what everyone wants. And
that's what, and that Gympie Club up there, like the Chapmans especially, mate, they put their heart into it, and the rest of them they've got everyone behind them.
Yeah,
it's great. As you know, we race it. It's just they're bloody awesome.
But it's great, as you said, great to see young Stuart get his first outright victory in his little single-seater Chenworth, and exactly 12 months from the corresponding event last year that he debuted it. So it just shows you the rise of young Chapman. As you said, Zach Marsh picked off where he left off at Federal, finishing 33 seconds off Clayton Chapman in third. Young gun Kai Camilleri showed his massive potential in his can. Only 16 years of age, would you believe? And he just keeps going through the gears. He crossed in fourth outright. He also won the 2022 Your Contractors Moranbah event up there earlier in the year. So he's one to watch. And fifth outright was 2021 Queensland Championship runner-up Richie Tassin, who was back to his best, rounding out the top five. Also, notable DNS from an action-packed weekend over there at Derby. We saw Craig Krog have a bit of an unfortunate rollover early on the first day. So all the best to the Krogs up there in beautiful sunny Queensland. Hopefully we see them back out on the track this year. And not on it. Touch wood, but you haven't had anything made yet. But it was a pretty solid rollover there. And
it was, but
it doesn't take much to.
But they'll get back together, mate. Like if it hasn't been the chasing like maintaining arms and that, mate, and a few shocks, they'll be right.
Yeah. Aaron Nicol, Troy Daft, Brett Baker, and David Lane other to DNF. on to an exciting part of the show, the opening round of the 2022 Hunter Rivmaster New South Wales Off-Road Racing Championship. And they had a couple of races last year. Obviously, Kempsey and Don Dingalong both ran. Kempsey was shortened. But how good is it to see this New South Wales Off-Road back? And I know you've dominated the circuit for over a decade or so, and we'll hopefully get back later in the year. But it's just great to see.
It is, and it's a credit to Carlo Club himself. Like, as a lot of people know, they got burnt out, and and this weekend that just went by, it was wet. They're getting bogged. Carlo getting bogged, and
they all chipped in, and
they got it run. And Spizzo come away with the first, and Tom Dixon second, and David Chandler third. Now Dave would have to be very, very happy about that because he has had a lot of drama with the car.
Yeah.
And he's finally sorted it.
And sorted a couple of days before.
And sorted it down there in that rubbish. Like, you see some of them photos, mate, like, it was unbelievable.
It got sloppy in parts.
Just slop.
Yeah.
I mean, slop.
But that's the thing with that sort of terrain. Like, they've had, obviously, as you know, the water coming through the...
Unreal in the back there where most of the photos were taken. The water just comes up and it just turns to muck.
Yeah. But it was a great weekend by all reports. Ian Irons and a good friend Stevie Brown sent us a few reports over the weekend, and blokes like that not only make our show but off-road racing great. And obviously to Penny and Shane Ramsey, I know they're involved. Nikiforovs, well done to the Carlo Park Club, the Sora Club, and hopefully we'll be there in 2023. So as you said, 3 wins in a row for Glenn Spizzo now, and he's one of the hot trots in New South Wales race. And I don't think you'd be a hard man to argue that he won't win any races moving forward, because he has got that nickel fab pro buggy on fire.
He has got fire, and like, changed the engine and doing what he done a couple of years ago. It's made a big difference to what he's doing, and the car's handling him. And I'll tell you what, maybe the one to watch it with Titran.
And Don Dingalong. So Tommy Dixon was second, another good weekend for him in his Gymco. Dave Chandler, as we said, was third. Local Brendan Turner and Guy Borman finished in the Mirage in fourth. And we had him in the top 5, but fourth outright was a good effort.
A very good effort, and Brendan had to be very happy with the car. Like you said, he's had a bit of a break, but he'd had to be very, very happy where he finished. And if he's not happy, mate, there's something wrong, but he'd be stoked. Absolutely stoked.
And obviously they'll all get Don Dingalong next weekend. And the 5th outright was another hard charger. The Naviac father and son crew of Michael and Eric Lattimore made their combination for the first time in that V8 machine. And they lost, I know, a lot of time on Sunday's first. I'm not sure the issue, but he would have been around that 3rd or 4th. He dropped back to 5th, but you know Mick Lattimore pretty well, and he'd be stoked with the top 5.
He'd be stoked, but we would have been driving the doors off a 2 to try and get back up there.
And we'll definitely be seeing Mick and Pete Souter over at Naviac at the end of the year, hopefully. Notable DNS from round 1 of the New South Wales Championship. Justin Guy had a few little crank sensor engine.
Ain't fiddly stuff, mate.
Yeah, fiddly stuff. Gerald Border had some issues. Warren Irons, Shane Ramsey, Simon Lennox, and James Wallen had some dramas there. So now onto the last event review for tonight's show, and it was over in the West. Our good friends over there in WA for the 2022 Masu Transport Make Tracks WA Ben Cubbon 400. It was round 2 of the Western Australian Off-Road Championship, and it was an incredible format. The first day they had the prologue, and then they had a 70-kilometre dash from Ben Cubbon to a nearby town of Gabon, and then they literally escorted them down the main road back to Ben Cubbon for the night. And on the Sunday, they went down to Gabon. They all waited for everyone to get down there. They then had a half an hour parc fermé. They come back. They literally drove back to Ben Cubbon itself. So that was a section. And then for the final section, they escorted the cars along the road back to Gabon, and then did that 70-kilometre sprint back. I mean, it's unheard of, but it's a credit to the whole West Australian team.
It's a credit to everyone. It doesn't matter the club, the police involved, the Shires involved. How good would it be to do that somewhere in New South Wales?
I just get the feeling, but events, especially New South Wales and maybe Victoria, it just doesn't feel like that's possible in some places.
It is too hard, but over there, and even South Australia, look what you and me did.
Yeah.
It's just totally different. Yeah.
But all credit to and it was Adam and Craig Trawalla, who obviously Adam is a navigator for Shane Ethelstone.
Yep.
But great to see them back-to-back wins after the win at Perenjori. We caught up with them down at Pooncarie. Great family guys. You'll see some awesome in-car of them and Troy Shewan, who won the prologue over there. But he won by 5.5 minutes. He said after the first lap, he literally sent it. And by looking at the footage, I think that's all he could do because it was a very fast track.
Very fast.
I think it was very dusty in places. I think it was that really skatey, a lot of that paddocky sort of terrain. And
paddock rocky sort of.
Yeah.
But it handled well.
They said it was a really cool off-road track. And it would have been, they're sort of events that I don't think the eastern side of Australia, they don't get to experience.
No, they don't get experience because this side of our country is different to over there. Like, as you know, when we go to Love Day, you're racing in the red, you're racing with the sand. But here, you're racing on the rock or black soil or sand, whichever way.
So second place was multiple Western Australian champion Jared Percival, who in his SS Racetech Pro Light made it his second podium of the season, whilst Brad Krepp in his Chev-powered Nissan Navara made his way back to the Western Australian outright podium in third, 4 minutes off Percival with another extreme two-wheel drive class win. Further minute back was Mark Kramer in his Chev Hustler in fourth, with the first of the side-by-side pro machines, Malcolm Yeardley rounding out the Ben Cubbon top five in his Can-Am 4 minutes off Kramer. There was some incredible footage from the Ben Cubbon event, so check some more out here.
It's been a couple of years that we've really missed being here, so it's great to be back.
It's going to be awesome. Nice and fast, bit of mud, and yeah, it's going to be great.
Thanks to our WA guys over there, and a special mention to Shane Elphinstone, who just sent in literally last minute footage of Adam Trawalla in that Rimco. It's awesome in-car stuff. And to Jason Gleer of Cage Tech Racing, mate, the stuff you do over there is sensational. So now we'll bulge into our event previews for this weekend, literally coming straight up. First up is the 2022 Quidderland Carpentry Spencer Golf Off-Road Racing Association 200 at Port Germain down in South Australia. It's round 3 of the South Australian Off-Road Racing Association series. It's a bit off topic. It's a strange feeling in South Australia this year. No Aaron Havey on the entry list, which is pretty rare. But
it is very bloody rare. I don't know what's going on there, but
he's still waiting for his gearbox back from Albans, I believe. Look out when he gets that back in the machine. The field's packed full of chances. Current South Australian off-road leader Nick Bird in his rush truck. Pretty cool story. I mean, only his third race and he's leading the South Australian series. Michael Shipton is his Chev-powered Ford Rangers in second. So Class 4 and Class 5 leading the championship. That's pretty cool. Not really common in off-road, but it's good to see.
It's not common, but how cool would it be to actually watch them?
Yeah,
And, at it hard.
And a different, I was talking about terrain, Port Germain, I will say I'm actually luxury to get down there and check out an event at the end of August down there in Ian Barker's, mate. Thanks for the invite. But yeah, it's looking forward to checking out what it's all about down there near Port Pirie. David Hall is third in the championship in his VQ35 V6 powered Murphy machine. He's one to watch. Ben Fatchin sits fourth in his Can-Am. Also, round one Perilla champion Luca Essage in his VQ35 powered Honey Badger, built himself. He's my pick. I mean, he's a sensational driver, and
He can drive.
his dad's also running there. But also to Andrew Fitzgerald in his Chev powered Element Prodigy, Brendan Galash and Daryl Nissen, others to watch down there at Port Germain this weekend. Also, Wheelie, an event we did have on the schedule, but once again, won't get there this year. It's the 2022 McCosker Contracting 100 up there at Mount Larkham, just inland of Gladstone. Round 4, the Mickey Thompson ARB Queensland Championship. Solid 53 starters. This is a time of year for Queensland. They've got Derby, Mount Larkham, Moranbah's in a few weeks, and of course you've got the great Gundawindi, Don River Dash. There's so much going on in Queensland, but
Yeah, well, it would have made 54 if it wasn't for
the old base. And the turbos aren't going to do much sitting over there, mate.
Oh, well,
What have you been doing all week?
Bloody
You've
shoulder
had
won't
all
work
week.
properly.
They won't get done down at the local, mate. Anyway, so leading the hotly contested lineup is last month's Derby championship leader, Stewie Chapman. Oh, I tell you what, when the pressure gets on when you start winning events, and when he's lining up on the grid and he knows his older brother's there and the angry Razorback behind him, it's time to go for young Stewart.
I agree. Stewie's going to have to put it down.
Yeah, he's set the
And
mark
just-
now, hasn't he?
And just don't even worry about what's behind him.
Yeah.
If you can get a good prologue, just run his own race and say, see you later, big brother.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can.
I know property owner Mitchell Upton does a lot of work on
Yep.
the track up there. They reckon they've changed a bit from last year. It's only its second year running this event. So those young blokes, he's got a buggy himself, pro buggy. But it's just great to see, as you know, land owners that love the sport, hey, here's a track, let's do it. And that's what it's all about. And that's where I think the future will end up going.
Well, it is, mate. And you can't do it without a property owner either. So you got to look after them no matter what. And if they're into racing to go with it, they know that
It's a bonus.
it's a bonus and it's going to be right.
Yeah. So as I said, Clayton Chapman's there. We've got Zachy Marsh, who'll lead the Can-Am Brigade. He's currently third in the championship, but he's a super competitor and literally,
mad.
as I said, I did a press release from earlier. If he can finish every race, I think he could be the Queensland champion at the end of the season.
Yep.
Also to Bryce Derrick, Kai Camilleri, the young guy, Christian Reach, Christian Troots. Also, Stephen Cooley in his Toyota trophy truck, Richard Tazen, Luke Brandon, and Mick Marson in his little junior racer engineering Class 10 machine, among the other chances. So really, that wraps up our event previews for this weekend. It literally is an incredible amount of racing. You can nearly do a show every night for the next couple of months. Of course, it has to be the coldest time of the year in this shed, shaking our, what off. But next weekend's Dong-Dinglong, round 2 of New South Wales at Kempsey, St George Buster, 288's also on next weekend. Also a reminder that the ARB TCT, the Gap 440 Hilston's the following weekend, and we will be there in full force, ourselves and Carly. We're going to make the trip down and get to do some cool things down there on the mic. And
Well, I'm doing the drinking and you're doing the driving.
and the talking.
That's it.
And then the following weekend, we're going to venture north to the Moranbah 100 up there in
That's a big drive. too.
Queensland. So back-to-back weekends. Looking forward to getting up there and helping Mickey Misfit out and the team at Mackay Off-Road Racing Club. Also, the new Riverland Wakery 300s on the same weekend down there in South Australia. And then on to the next ORC round, the Can-Am Love Day 400, which we also plan to be at the end of July. And also the Kickstarter's Gascoyne Dash in WA's on the same weekend in WA. Crazy amount of events, Wheelie, and many champions to be crowned. But anything you want to add before the end of the show?
Hot tip. Dong-Dinglong.
Hot tip. We'll
Yeah.
cover Dong-Dinglong next week's show, but you can still give it a
But a little
tip.
hot tip. Who do you reckon is going to win Dong-Dinglong?
Dong-Dinglong. Well, I was on the phone to Justin Guy texting this morning at work. He's 50-50. He can't get into the dyno till next Thursday. So if Justin Guy goes, I'm going to go Justin Guy will make it 5,000 Dong-Dinglong titles. But
Well, I agree with you. I reckon Justin and Spizzo
Yeah, I reckon
That's
Justin will
mine.
get him.
I think Justin will get him.
They
Justin
said-
can
they said-
drive it
yeah.
with his eyes closed, mate.
Yeah.
So that's my bet.
Yeah, I'd go Justin Guy. Only just, I think, I think with the looking at the entry list, I think someone like I don't know, like a Brendan Turner or maybe someone like that could sneak
Yeah,
up in there.
sneak
If
up
a couple of those, maybe like the Spizzo and the Dixon have issues, but 44. You wouldn't think 44 kilometres of racing can be so.
Oh, it's
hard.
tough. It's tough over there. Like they've done a lot of work to the track, done a lot of grading to the track.
You
but
had
the track,
some fun donding
I
on.
had a lot of fun donding. I had a lot of success and a lot of breakdowns, but I'll tell you, it is one hard track.
Yeah. Bit
So-
of a party central over there too.
Yeah, big party central.
So that's a wrap on tonight's show. Stay safe, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and more importantly, stay tuned for the next episode of Frogs Hollow TV. Cheerio.
Cheerio, everyone.